Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Man vs. Mob podcast. First, I want to congratulate you for getting to the end of 2020, the year that never happened. I want to congratulate you for the start of 2021 and hopefully a year of personal turnover and recreation in some way, taking what you have thought about during 2020 and implementing that into your lives. So, in that regard, I wanted to, or in that spirit, I should say, I want to talk about a few things that I really have high on my list of what I'm trying to do in 2021. So, to simplify them as much as possible, I would like to recreate the current systems of media and education. And I would like to create a skeletal blueprint of what that would look like. And I want to bring together the best minds that are the most intellectual, the most technologically savvy, the most interpersonally intelligent and empathetic, the most creative. I've talked about this in a recent episode where I'm sort of trying to be like the Nick Fury character, if you're familiar with the Marvel universe, of bringing together the Avengers, bringing together people who really want to bring about a positive change and who have a vision and who empower other people to engage in that vision. But I'm not trying to make this um, an arrogant project of building these systems kind of in my own image. I want this to be something that really is kind of a zeitgeist of fixing a lot of different things. And I see media and education as being upriver of a lot of other important changes that occur. But the current issue with our media is that it's based on clickbait, is that it's based on ad revenue from monetizing our outrage and our worst impulses, as I'm sure you've heard me talk about many times. And it is effectively a conveyor belt of the world's problems stuck on high, just endlessly dumping them into our lap. And it doesn't really have any feedback as to how anxious that we are becoming, and we can't really turn it off because we have this negativity bias and this morbid curiosity that keeps us addicted to consuming it. Not to mention we want to feel informed, right? So the goal with media is to shift towards a model that's based on solutions journalism, that's based on investigative journalism, and that's based on gonzo journalism. The term gonzo journalism, if you're unfamiliar, is based on something that Hunter S. Thompson used to do, which is as a journalist to live within a situation or within a group of people and to report what you see from the journalist's point of view. So the journalist is kind of a part of the story. And it's become pretty popular with other formats. If you've heard of Louis Theroux or Vice has a lot of gonzo style journalism. But anyway, I want to bring these modes of journalism back into to re-empower journalism to its better aspects, because there are tons of great journalists that are stuck in a horrible institution that incentivizes the worst aspects of really non-journalism, and it makes us dumber. It has, over time, it's made us dumber, and it's made us really form mobs. It's made us more tribal, and it has limited our understanding of the world and limited our capacity to make important connections between things. So with solutions journalism in particular, the idea is you're pairing the issues in the world with ongoing explanation, with solutions of ongoing explanation for what's being done to fix that problem. So it encourages people to broaden their understanding, to learn more, to make connections between different things, to understand that the world is actually more complex and not as simplified as we regularly portray it as, with this person or this group or this idea is good, purely good, and or purely evil. And it also empowers people to become involved, which is really important, because this next phase of humanity is really going to be about interconnection and collaboration and stronger relationships and networking, not in the kind of gross typical business way that you think of, where it's just like people exchanging business cards and standing awkwardly around a table with Perrier water on it, but in a sense of connecting, understanding yourself, understanding what you're good at, and connecting that to the issues that you see, getting a sense of what you can contribute, and of getting a sense of meaning and purpose in contributing that. So in that vein, that brings me to the second aspect, which is changing the current system of education. So K through 12 education is based on the Prussian model, which is an industrial mindset of applying what you would try to do in a factory setting and applying that to people. So it requires standardization, systemization, quantification of people. Like, think about IQ. Oh, the brain is reducible to a single value and it's rankable, and you are defined entirely by that value. And you're basically systemically dehumanized and standardized. You're made to be a conformist, to put blinders on, to think narrowly, and you're channeled into very specific pre-approved career paths. So um, after K through 12, obviously you have the college and university system, which has become a racket. And we understand that it is, in its original conception, way back, it was designed as a place where young adults could go to learn about themselves, to self-actualize, to learn critical thinking skills. And it is very far from that right now. It is sort of a industrial job farm that also functions as a credentialing agency. So it saddles students with debt, obviously. It also has become eerily close to the situation of the Catholic Church when it was selling indulgences for access to heaven. And if you don't see the parallel, basically the university system sells at a very high price access to the working world, or access to the American dream, as which has been said many times by politicians. So moving from that very narrow and dehumanizing form of education to an education that empowers people to self-actualize and to learn about themselves and learn about what they're passionate about and pursue that, and also how to contribute their energies in a productive, empowering way to ongoing projects and any number of initiatives. I think that should really be the goal with education. And I think it's going to be far less brick and mortar based, and far less based on the notion of knowledge gatekeepers and narrow knowledge that is bureaucratized and put into little bundles of subjects, and more knowledge is this infinite nebulous cloud that grows forever and that you never really fully understand, but you can get pretty good grasps of and apply that throughout your life. So it's a more humbling, but also in a way, it's sort of paradoxical, humbling and empowering way of looking at knowledge, where you can carve out your little space that is more in line with what you're interested in and what your abilities are. And you can be a better version of yourself through the education that you choose, rather than the one size fits all style of education that we have been supporting. And it's, I mean, I don't want I don't want to beat a dead horse, but how it's become a jobs program, and how it works so horribly with the existing system of media to reinforce our mutual stupidity, basically, and to get us stuck in a box where we lack the creativity to see our ways, to see any way out of it. So that is my goal for 2021, is to focus on media and education, building a blueprint of the system that we could have, and bringing the minds together to think about how we could do that. Because I don't want to just be the sole person trying to piece this stuff together, because it's far more likely that I'm going to miss things and get things wrong if that were the case. So, as always, if you have any ideas, if you would like to engage in some way, whether it's a more minor way, like, um, you want to recommend something that you've read or that you've seen, please do that. Or whether it's a bigger way, like participating in meeting up, whether, God forbid, eventually it's in person, or whether it's through Zoom or something like that, please don't hesitate to reach out, comment on one of my videos, or send me an email, be resilient at manbmobpodcast.com, or there's other ways that you can reach me, comment on a video, subscribe. I kind of lose track, to be honest. The various platforms that exist. So once again, congratulations on making it to the end of 2020. And I hope you have a fabulous start to 2021. And please focus on ways that you can improve yourself in the new year that aren't just physical. Obviously, bodily health is important, and people always resolve to go to the gym and whatnot. But think about mental health, and think about the things that you might be doing in your life that are limiting your potential for learning, limiting your mental potential, bad habits that you've developed, things like that. So that's all I have, and I will see you next time. I look forward to continuing to update you on this ongoing project. I think my mouse has died. There we go. Uh-oh, I think it's still dead.